Hey, welcome everybody to SureDone Product Update webinar. We're excited to have you all here. Appreciate you making the time to join us today. Joined here today by Jason Neff, who is our CEO and founder of the organization. Um, the presentation today is going to basically be going over a lot of the product updates, things that we've done over the past year, and some of the things that we're looking at doing later on. There's also going to be a poll at the end of it to go over things hopefully that people are interested in seeing. Everybody should be in listen only mode right now. If you have questions, you'll see a Q&A panel in the corner. Feel free to submit them there, not in the chat. We won't necessarily see them in the chat, but feel free to submit your questions in the Q&A panel. If there's any technical issues, then just chat us. We'll be here to help you, and this session is being recorded. And as I mentioned, at the end of the webinar, we're going to be sharing a QR code and a link to a poll to see what you're interested in having us build next. So stick around and help us figure out what the next generation of SureDone will look like. With that said, I am going to pass this over to Jason now. So welcome, Jason. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for making it. When we put this presentation together, I was hoping to only spend an hour trying to go through all the updates. But as I was going through everything, we have done a lot in the past year. So hopefully you'll find some value here. The way we've organized this presentation is to kind of give you an overview of all of the features that have been launched and what's coming down the pipe. And then we broke it up into sections. So that way you could pay attention to what's relevant. So if you're on Shopify or if you're on BigCommerce or on eBay, we have slides dedicated to that. And then we'll wrap up with some features that are going to be coming down in the upcoming roadmap in the coming quarters. And then finally, proposing some more broader initiatives that we'd love your feedback on. So without further ado, am I sharing my screen yet, Chris?
No, I don't see it.
Okay, so let's see here, desktop 1, 2, desktop 1. Open system settings. Give me a second. This is a new computer. Okay, I gotta quit and reopen, Chris, so I'll be right back.
All right. This is where I vamp. Sorry for the technical issues. As I mentioned, the webinar chat is where you can let us know if there's any technical issues. The Q&A section is where you can put any questions that you might have.
Great, apologies for that. Okay.
But it's very, oh, there we go. Awesome. Looks great.
There we go. So here we go. Product features, roadmap, and update webinar. So what does SureDone do? We're an operations platform. We help mature your business by helping you automate and streamline all the different aspects of your e-commerce, whether it's your channel management or integrations with all of your vendors, accounting systems, ERPs, inventory sources, drop shipping. Basically, SureDone aims to be your channel manager as well as your integrations platform, middleware, so that way you can streamline your entire e-commerce operations. So as I mentioned, we'll go over some upcoming features, roadmap, we'll take a poll, and then we'll take some Q&A. Okay. I'm the founder and CEO, Jason, and then to my other side is Chris, the Chief Operating Officer. Okay, so there is a link here, and we'll send this presentation out to everyone after the meeting. I think you can do that, Chris, right? To send it all to the attendees. And you can always see what's coming out on a sprint basis at www.SureDone.com/product updates. There's also a little icon or a little section in the dashboard that shows these same product updates. We launch these pretty much every Thursday and Friday. And at SureDone, we currently work on 2-week sprints. So basically, you'll see the updates come out on a Friday, and then you might see the same thing come out the following week because it covers 2 weeks. And we'll put all of the customer facing highlights in these updates. We won't put everything, but definitely everything material. Okay, so what we're going to go over today. We'll start off with some of the updates to the UI we've done over the past year. And these are all the updates we've done from the beginning of 2024 up until today and in the coming weeks. We'll talk about our bulk platform, and then we'll go over orders and the core platform, automation engine, and then we'll go by channel: Amazon, eBay, Walmart, Google, BigCommerce, Shopify, Miva and our storefront, Fitment and SureFit, and then broader integrations by automation engine. Anything with a star, just wanted to point out that we take our feature roadmap feedback from our customer base and user base. So a lot of the features that you're going to see today were recommended and requested by you. And we thank you for that feedback and that collaboration. We want to make sure that this platform is most relevant to you and helping you improve your business. Okay, so let's talk about the UI. So SureDone has a search language, one that aims to allow you to query pretty much every single field that's in the database. The database, just for those of you technical out there, is currently a MySQL database. And so there's mostly fields for every single attribute and field that you have in there. So we have now a UI, there's a link for a search builder. So you don't have to learn the query language. You know, there's ways to do equals, there's ways to do field to field, greater than, less than. And now there's a builder that actually constructs the searches, gives you a little overview of those. Also alongside, we have a very robust log system. So whether it's an inventory update or whether it's a order or whether it's a change to an order, every single action in SureDone is logged. Now it's a little technical on the back end, but it is a lot of data. So what we've launched recently, relatively recently, is a channel errors dashboard. So that way you can see all the related errors to a specific channel, a specific product, a specific order. And everything's audited, right? So it's not like some things mysteriously happen that you can't trace down. And now there's a UI for that. And one thing I forgot to mention on here, we will be coming out with is a more robust overview. So I'm expecting that we will be giving better guidance on how to use these logs, because there's a few ways to slice and dice the logs where you can basically get down to like a single upload or a single update in the UI. So we really want to improve the user experience of how you correct errors and how you can list more and make sure that your data is flowing with as little friction as possible. And then coming down the pipe, this is one that we would love your feedback on, is we're going to launch a new user dashboard. This dashboard will aim to have custom modules, give you a way better view of performance at a glance. So things like how many listings went up today, how many errors were there, how many sales, what were your sales growth in the past week, the past month, the past year. So any kind of thing that you would like to see in such a dashboard, we will welcome your feedback. And then Chris, I'll look to you to kind of figure out how to send these requests for updates to everyone. Because again, this is the kind of thing that when we build it, the more input we have, the more we can collate, and these can even be things that are third-party modules from around that. So with Automation Engine, we have the ability to bring in anything for products and orders, whether it's an API, whether it's a file, whether it's some kind of other like GraphQL endpoint. You pick your acronym and your buzzword, and SureDone Automation Engine can bring it in. So if there's something that you'd like to see in SureDone that's not there today, just put it up on a feature request, or like I said, Chris will be sending out some kind of survey of where you can send this as we build it out. Okay, so that's the user interface, a little bit of light, but there's a lot more on the roadmap coming out, and I will talk about that when we get to the long roadmap. But what you're seeing here, this has either been launched on the left or is actually coming down in the next coming months. Okay, so in terms of the core engine, so, well, the bulk's not even on there. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so first of all, a lot of you out there heavily use SureDone for kitting. We even have some customers that have their catalog size is like, low hundreds of thousands, but then they have several 100,000 kits. And that makes a lot of pressure on the system because in SureDone, the kits are generated dynamically. What does that mean? That means that I say I'm selling a skateboard with 4 wheels and 2 trucks and 1 board. When that kit is being calculated on eBay, it's doing it at runtime. It's basically calculating, how many trucks you have, how many wheels you have, how many boards you have. So that way it's dynamically updating on the channels. And when you have a lot of kits, those kits can end up backing up because a lot of you will sell 10 kits that's linked with the same components. So it's a lot of pressure. So we did a lot of work to overhaul that to make sure that that could be updated as fast as possible. So you should notice like very little to no oversells on those kits. If you do, please report it. But also that you could start to put even more throughput. We know that's a strategy that works because it's all about differentiation in this market. So you could sell more by going that strategy. We heavily recommend it, that if you're in a very competitive space, to leverage the kitting functionality to build uniqueness into your inventory. And you can rely on SureDone even more now for processing those kits and to let you not worry about the operation side of it. And then the big news today that right after this call, our Director of Engineering, Shane, will be launching our bulk overhaul system. So many of you know that today, SureDone is amongst the leaders in the bulk processing space. You can upload a 1,000,000-line file and we will chop it up and process it in little chunks across the entire fleet and update all of your destinations as quickly as possible. And we are amongst the fastest in the industry for bulk processing. And today we are launching an overhaul of it. So please, 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 anyone who's out there on the operations side of your e-commerce business, if you see any funky things over the next coming days, please report them. We've spent several months working on this bulk overhaul. So what are some things that you're going to notice? Well, one, improved speed. You should see a even faster bulk uploading time. So we have benchmarked our bulk system to be head-to-head, if not better, than, let's say, Channel Advisor. Today, we're going to even double down and improve it even more. Variations. So I know many of you have had some issues with variations getting stuck. The reason is because, let's just say that you have a product with 100 variants. In the automotive space, it can have a lot of variants, a lot of different ways it fits products. The way SureDone was doing it before was basically a little inefficient in the background. Well, we fixed that now. So now you should see variations fly through. So you can start doing a lot more of that. Reliability. From time to time, you see some stuck jobs, which would prevent your updates going to channels, which means you have to re-upload. Painful process, we know. Those should now be also resolved. So, again, we're launching it today. So it will be a little bit of just to set expectations, a little bit of a shaky ground the next day, hours, but over the next day or two, we should start to see a lot more stability than you saw before. And more importantly, there's also a new row checker in there. So sometimes there would be a thing where some updates on channels would not go through because it's telling me that we have a lot to go through. It would go faster. Okay, so bulk uploads going live today. Please monitor it. It's a big overhaul and should be setting the next foundation for the next several years here at SureDone. Okay, so core system. Well, one, the big industry update, believe it or not, in 2025 is that line item shipping has finally been taken on by all the channels, and SureDone supports it. So if your ERP or the way you're fulfilling actually supports the SKU going in with the tracking file, start sending it in, because now SureDone will line item fulfill on all the supported channels. And secondary to that, ship carrier service mapping. So if there's a situation where your ERP or your backend system expects one kind of a value, SureDone now can map that value to that value. So you can have no overhead and seamless operation. Coming down the pipe, some big updates. One, channel field searches. So right now you can't search on Shopify price, can't search on a lot of these other attributes. By the end of the year, you will be able to search on every single field in SureDone. So you can create searches, automations, everything that you'd like to support with that. Channel field database update is another big one. So right now, if you update a Shopify price, that will happen towards the end of the processing. This will happen at the front, just like you do with your core price and core fields. And then some other cleanups to make sure the system is as pristine as possible. And we're adding support for WebP. So those are some big upgrades happening, along with another backend database update relating to the updating the latest and greatest. At SureDone, one thing that I like to say is that we pride ourselves on keeping up to date with all of the channel requirements. This puts a lot of overhead on our team and keeps us in business. But that's just the table stakes. We don't like to talk about that, but you can always expect that SureDone's updated to the latest Shopify, eBay, BigCommerce, etc. APIs. And with WebP support supported across the internet, we are launching that as well. And automation engine. Okay, so automation engine is a centerpiece. Unfortunately, the way that we presented it in our interface, it's not really well known to many of you. So you know that SureDone does all of your channels, your eBay, Shopify, Amazon, Walmart, etc. But SureDone also has an integrations platform, if you did not know that. This allows you to connect to your ERP, inventory sources, drop shipping. We doubled down on this side of the business. So one, there's API docs for every single feature we launch. So the product updates will list as we launch new features, things like vendor integrations that are throttled, line item processing. So out of automation engine, we've launched Amazon multi-location inventory. This is one you're probably getting pressured by your reps to adopt. We'll talk about that more in the Amazon things, but we're going to start seeing that we have buy shipping, B2B reports, a lot of reporting coming down the pipe for all the channels. In fact, if there's anything that you see coming out that you want in reporting from any of the channels, just send us a ticket and we will prioritize it this year. eBay, conditions, automations, Walmart MLI also, Google local inventory. So if any of you are close to a distributor that you can like walk across the street to fulfill an order, you can now be listed on Google local. Submit a ticket for that. We have a complete integration. So I think I think I messed up here. So automation, ignore this section. These are just the core updates. But lots of updates to automation engine. Now coming down the pipe is, I messed up here. Okay, one, an interface. So right now there are several integrations that we haven't launched due to you needing to authorize via an interface, right? So if, let's say using Xero for accounting, you need to click a button inside of Xero, it needs to come back to SureDone. We're launching that in, I'd say, the next month or so. It's already built, it's just in testing. So we're going to launch several new integrations at once that support this. Then we're going to launch an app center. So right now, when you go to the automations in SureDone, let's say for turn 14, you'll see like 5 different integrations. Well, that's going to be consolidated into one turn 14 integration with several different features that you can enable or disable. So basically, you'll see a much cleaned up interface with our 100+ integrations that are launched and that are coming out. And finally, a rules manager. So many of you use the SureDone rules via automation engine to power your order assignment, right? So let's just say you have a product, an order that has several different items, and they're all going to different warehouses or different distributors or different sources. Now there's going to be a UI in the coming months that has a way that you can start testing and a way that you can start understanding how these rules work, because we understand that it's a little technical right now, and now you'll have a visual representation for these. So a way to leverage these rules just like you would in a rules system, it's coming to SureDone. Amazon. And again, I apologize for that last slide. It was a little mixed up, but we're back on track with it. Okay, so lots of updates to Amazon. So the biggest one that's been pushed by our reps as well as your reps is multi-location inventory. So right now there is an automation in the automation side. There's a link there that you can enable it, but you have to contact support to actually get it fulfilled, because Amazon multi-location requires work to be done on your side as well. So you'll have to go into Amazon and set up your fulfillment sources. I think they're called supply sources. And then you send a support ticket, and then we will import it in, and then we'll stand it up. Now, the reason that we launched this in automation engine is because right now we're undergoing a complete overhaul of our Amazon integration. So we're moving on to the latest and greatest with Amazon, and that is due to be launched by the end of next month for a mandate. So once that gets done, then we'll migrate these MLI features into the core system, and it will just be seamless for you on the back end. But if you want MLI today, multi-location inventory, just contact support, submit a ticket, and we will get that set up for you once you have your site on Amazon set up. By shipping, many of you don't know that we do have a little bit of a fulfillment platform in SureDone. We don't push it a lot because of the user experience on the UI is not meant for doing the kind of volume that you're doing. But buy shipping is a way that you can get seller fulfilled prime, which means that you'll get more sales, which means that you'll get more of that. Now, some customers and Amazon accounts will be able to be exempt from this, very few, but otherwise you have to use buy shipping. Well, if your backend needs buy shipping, there's a way that we can actually bypass, have that functionality sent right to your ERP. So contact support if you'd like to leverage that, or if you'd like to just leverage SureDone, there's an actual interface where you can click a drop down and print a label directly from Amazon in SureDone. B2B, this is probably one of the biggest opportunities for you to grow your business materially using Amazon between now and the end of the year. Why? Because Amazon is doing a huge push. They gave us insight that they're looking to grow that side of the business by, I think, 40 to 60% this year. And it was in the hundreds of millions. And the reason is because now businesses are much more adopting B2B for Amazon because of the discounts. You can apply basically everything that you can on a B2B website using their functionality with the convenience of Amazon. So if you need help or want more information, contact us. We have a direct line to the top people at Amazon for the B2B side, and there's full support for listing products. There's anything coming down the pipe is support for the delivery experience. So it will tell you like what office, what hours, etc., right on the label, and that's coming out. So full B2B support within SureDone is live now for product listing. And very soon, by July or so, we'll have the B2B side on the orders. So the full life cycle of B2B support on SureDone. Reporting, the buy box report. So a mandate was to give you a report. There's actually, if you go to the channels report section, there's actually a report that gets generated every day. You might have to enable it to start generating because it's an expensive report. It takes a lot of API calls and there's a lot of throttling with Amazon. So again, you want competitive insights, you want to know how to sell more, download that report, start reviewing it. And then finally, we launched multi-channel fulfillment updates. So now our multi-channel fulfillment support is way more robust. So if you want to start shipping your Shopify orders with an Amazon FBA product, you can do that now in SureDone. You could limit it by channel. You could say, hey, I got 5 Shopify stores. I only want it to fulfill this one for this region. SureDone supports that. So again, all these features are here for you to review. We'll send this presentation after. And then coming down, Vendor Central report. So with the update for this listing migration I spoke about, we're going to unify both Vendor Central and Seller Central. So you'll be able to sell your 1P products and your 3P products and the orders all through SureDone. That should be live, the mandate is by the end of June, but realistically, that will go live through the summer. So expect all of this support to happen in a unified experience. You'll be able to sell your 1P and 3P all through SureDone. And then listing updates. So one big pain point we know is that when you list on Amazon, you have to do a upload or a thing through the UI and then wait for Amazon to process this. With this launch, we are launching real-time updates. So when you click the button inside of the interface or send a manual API call to SureDone, you will get a real-time response back from Amazon to know if there were errors, if it was successful, and anything else Amazon has about that request. So real-time listing to Amazon is going live here in the next month or two. So that's a big one that I know that will improve your listing experience. And then new reports. So as I mentioned, automation engine is where we're going to lean on for a lot of these channel reports. So again, there's things like this thing called data kiosk where you can start to import, export data, B2B opportunities, anything that you want that is available via report from Amazon that has an endpoint. We will be launching this. Our goal is to have it live this year. We're trying to launch 100 new integrations through automation engines here, and a lot of reporting will be part of it. And then, as I mentioned, the B2B delivery experience. Okay, that's Amazon. eBay. So we launched new conditions for you apparel sellers out there. There's now automations to automate your category matching. So, one workflow that we would prescribe years ago was, you get your products into SureDone from however, and then you got to assign a category. Now there's a category import automation that will look at all the empty categories for your catalog and will import them automatically. So you can just go there, enable it, run a test run, and it relies on your API account. So you have to have an eBay account to do this. Auto renew. So many of you out there have an understanding that freshness on listings and stale listings don't sell as well. So you need to kind of refresh those. So there's automations now to automatically manage the renewal and expiration of these listings. And we also now have the ability to manage the video IDs. So let's just say that you want a video that you want applied to all of your listings. So what you do is you go onto a manual listing in eBay, create the video, and then you can go to SureDone and import that and then apply it to all your listings. So that way you don't lose the videos on those. So that's our first step that we launched, is way to manage these IDs in SureDone. So if you have any questions, please just submit a ticket and we will get you all that information so you can start managing your video IDs in SureDone. And then reporting. So one of the biggest things that eBay is excited about is that we're going to be launching several reports over the coming months for promoted listings, for listing quality, and everything available by eBay. So again, a lot of reporting coming out this year for eBay, for everything to help you sell more and do better with the listings you have live. Okay, so we'll jump to Walmart. So again, multi-location inventory is now in private beta with Walmart. If you would like to be part of that, please just submit a ticket and we will get you part of that. It's live now with a few customers, and we will be rolling it out into GA, in the coming months. But for now, if you believe that if you have, first of all, the ability to have multiple warehouses on Walmart, there is a back-end private beta launch for this. Walmart fulfillment services, we do support importing those orders. So if you need those sent over anywhere and need them available in SureDone, there is the ability for that. And then the fulfillment carrier mapping. So Walmart has a long list of accepted values. So if you send in, let's say UPS ground, they expect a backend. So we now will automatically map it all the way through. So it sends the specific value so your customers can know what services you used. And then coming down. So item spec 5.0, this allows for more attributes, which means more details, which means more visibility to customers and more sales. Local finds. So if you do pickup, like a buy online, pickup in store type of offering that Walmart has launched and it's in beta, we are launching support for that as well. And a fitment integration. So many of you are sending in data into SureDone for fitment, year, make, and model for your products. We are launching an automation that will send this fitment directly to Walmart. So expect that to come out, in the coming month or two. And basically it will send Walmart an ACES version of a file, so that way it can ingest it. And then once again, lots of reporting coming down for Walmart as well. So you can understand a lot more about the listings and your selling performance. Okay, Google. So as I mentioned earlier, we now have support for Google Local. So if you, like I said, or buy a warehouse where you can walk across the street, or, you have actual local inventory, there is now a way to do it. So there's an automation that you can enable, and it requires a little bit of setup on Google side, because you actually have to create separate listings, one for your local and one for your online. And but if you can support this, this way is a way to give you differentiated visibility for more sales, especially in your local market. So let us know if you need support on that. But if you're able, it's highly recommended that you leverage this functionality, because it's not one that many people know about, but yet gets, in certain markets, a lot of visibility and a lot of sales. And that's the biggest thing that we launched for Google. Other than that, many of you don't even know that we actually support feeds in SureDone. So you can do all of your Google inventory and your not like some of the aspects on ads like optimizations, but you can actually get the ads up and it's sourced from your catalog in SureDone. And feeds in general, we're launching via automation engine like Bing and any other feed. So if you do have something that's niche that's valuable to your business, just let us know. And it's something that we launched very quickly via automation engine. We're happy to make it part of the 100+ integrations we're launching this year. Ecommerce. Okay, so over the last, what was it, like 15, 16 months, we launched an overhaul to the V3 upgrade. So any of you that are on an old BigCommerce store, we're still going to support it, but understand that all of the new work that gets done is on the V3. So things like videos and MPN support. We're starting to see a lot more adoption for multi-store. So whether it's, launching different stores for different brands or, different brands plus a superstore, there's now multi-store support. So there's a way to set default channels, but that's live now. So you can actually support that if you're on BigCommerce and have that need. You would use a different integration within SureDone. There's V3 video formats that's supported. And now if you want a custom description based on templating in SureDone, similar how you would do for eBay, you can now use this feature to actually put custom descriptions inside of your BigCommerce store. So you don't have to rely on the default mapping. You don't have to rely on whatnot. So you could go out and start doing that. And then we're going to do another overhaul on it because we want it to be reliable and be as consistent as it is with other channels. And we're also going to be working on more multi-store upgrades and throttling updates to be mindful. Okay, Shopify. So we're on the latest and greatest. You now can post over 100 variations to Shopify. Shopify is a funny one because they basically make breaking changes on their backend every several months. I don't know why they do this, but we have to keep in line with it. So we now support over 100 variations, multi-store support, meta field support. So I know that that was one we did not support about a year ago. You now can support meta fields via custom field mapping, more throttle management. So the retries will happen automatically. This is much more relevant to you with larger catalogs. We are launching this week the ability for a handle. So if you have knowledge of SEO and someone who does that in your organization, you can actually specify the URLs that go live via SureDone. And then collections, category management is getting an overhaul in the coming weeks. And media mapping. So let's just say that you want Amazon to have these images and Shopify to have these images and videos on Shopify. We're launching that support here in the coming weeks as well. And storefront. So we launched an integration with Miva Merchants platform. So it's a full integration now for orders, products, custom fields, images, everything that you have from every other integration in SureDone is now live. So if you have Miva stores or want Miva stores, they are great as an automotive platform. We have a good relationship with them there. So that's live. It's been live for months, battle tested. So you're able to now fully support your full operations on that platform. And we launched for our storefront users an authorized.net upgrade. So now you have the latest and greatest in their checkout experience live now as well. And then coming out, now I know that there's been some spam on our storefront. So we're launching updates to reduce that spam. And finally, this is one that we would love your feature requests for those that use our storefront. We will be launching Apple Pay at some point. It's a matter of prioritization. So if that's something that you will see more value on, just let us know and we will prioritize it even faster. Okay, SureFit. So over the past 2 to 3 years now, we've put a lot of emphasis on a module we call SureFit. So this is a way to power your BigCommerce, Shopify, and SureDone storefronts using the fitment data in SureDone. Now, we will tell you out of the gate, it is meant for more of a seamless operation with your data. It's meant for best practices, but it is not the widget that you're going to be able to customize to the sun, moon, and the stars to your liking. It does focus on performance and best practices. So one, we've now given you a report for data that's in SureDone that you can basically look by SKU or by year, make, and model to easily see what data correlates with what products in your catalog. There's also a fitment export email, so you can do that kind of same thing that exports you a CSV. So this is we launched this feature here in the last few months. So for those of you that are using Fitment and SureDone, highly recommend you take a look at that and let us know if if it's missing anything. I think it only works if you have SureFit enabled, but I'm pretty sure we can make that enabled across your entire catalog if that's valuable to you. Let us know. And then coming down, support for trim and engine. So long awaited for a lot of you out there. So imagine you have 3 stores, one that does trim and engine, but one that needs like bed length. We are launching it to where you will have the dynamic choice across your different stores in SureDone. So that's coming out over the coming months, probably the next quarter or 2 latest, and as well as more performance enhancements, because our focus once again is on best-in-class performance, keep it in line with load times and reliability. That is our focus on that module, and that will be how we roll those out over the coming months. Okay, integrations. So our goal for 2025 is to launch 100+ new integrations using Automation Engine on SureDone. So we've launched a lot more. You may not know this, but we have support for Klaviyo, EasyShip. We launched Xcart. So if you have an Xcart store and want your inventory synced with that and orders flowing in, we have that live now. Ordoro. So if you want more robust order management, using the SureDone platform, we are partnered with Ordoro. They're a very lean and scrappy and performant platform for order management. Finale Inventory, another one that if you want more robust inventory management, you have multiple warehouses, you need a lot more than what SureDone can do. We have an integration with Finale that has been live now for a bit. PC Fitment. So we know that in SureDone, we are considered a light product information manager, but we don't have a robust, efficient way to do full-on fitment. You can do it, but if you want something better, we're partnered with PC Fitment, and you can do all of your fitment management there, and the data will just flow through to SureDone and back. Lightspeed and different POSs. So if you want integration with your point of sale system, let us know, and we will see what it would take to do it. Again, via Automation Engine allows us to build integrations very quickly. Web Shop Manager, if you have stores on that platform, support for that, and several more. We're constantly adding new integrations to this, so many of you may be selling through Parts Authority. We have integrations for that. Holly, all these different vendor integrations. We are launching many more, 100+ this year. So coming down the pipe, Xero, QuickBooks, for the Latin market, Mercado Libre, more repricers, many channel reports, eBay multi-location inventory, Walmart Fitment. So expect over 100 new integrations to launch this year. So keep your eyes on that product updates URL, because we are trying to go as fast as possible with integrations using Automation Engine. Okay, so we'll pause for 1 second, but not too long because we only have 20 minutes left. So next, we're talking about the roadmap. So on our support forum, and we know that it's you may not know this, but you need to have different logins for our support. We use a system called Freshworks for supports. And on there's a feature request forum. So we do look at those almost weekly, and we try to incorporate those into our roadmap discussions. The more requests we see for a feature, the faster it gets prioritized. So everything that we went through, a good 70 to 85% of those features were launched by customer request. So like, for example, Amazon MLI. Chris, I saw a raised hand, so I'll let you respond to that. But like Amazon MLI, Walmart MLI, that was prioritized by request, and now it's live in beta, and any of you can adopt it. So the more requests we see, the more we prioritize. So let's go high level. There's a lot more than here. We are quite ambitious here at SureDone. But let's talk about first the targets. 1, bulk V3. So we have the back end of the upgrade going live today. Now the next stage is to actually launch a user interface that gives you a real-time status. So we know that the status little bar is not the most reliable, but we'll be launching a whole new UI and a whole new experience for the uploads. TikTok. So that's probably the fastest growing platform for e-commerce on the internet right now. We know that for a lot of our customers, though, not as relevant. One thing to know that there's this concept of what's called an active channel and a passive channel. Passive channels are marketplaces, your Amazons, your eBays, even your Shopify store, because people will come and find you. But active channels are Instagram and TikTok, where you have to promote and then go out. But one thing TikTok did differently is they actually built an influencer network internally where people can bid. So we're starting to even see a little adoption on the automotive space. But so we're trying to understand how quickly to get that live. We will have a TikTok integration one way or the other, but it's a target. So let us know if you think that would be valuable to you, and we can provide guidance about this active and passive channel concept, and help us prioritize that sooner than later. And then orders. So one deficit of SureDone we know is the ability to do returns and manage that. So that will be one that we aim to get in there as fast as possible. And then again, 100 plus new integrations this year will be going live with SureDone. And then considerations. Okay, so everything on the SureDone interface and our bulk system and our API is all powered by our API. So we're finally ready after several years to launch the next version of it. There's already a V3 orders that we're happy with and that we'll build on top of. But for product management, imagine that you want to start automating a way to pull just your inventory fields from SureDone every single hour. Right now you can't do that because it actually pulls the entire product record. So if that kind of need is important to you, let us know, because we will be launching that. It's just a matter of prioritization. Video management. So video is an interesting one because you need a way to store those videos, then you need a way to distribute those videos. And now with YouTube and eBay supporting it and Shopify supporting it, we are looking very heavily at prioritizing that into the system. So just a matter of when we're going to be setting you this. So on your screen there is a QR code. Please scan it. Please submit it. It'll take you no more than 5 minutes, Chris? But it basically will give us much more insights into that. And then, a better update for our automation engine. We're going to be unifying our automations with our channel management. So today, on the left side in the editor and in the channel management section, you see only those select channels, but we will be focusing on unifying that into one. So today you see several channels, your Amazon, eBay, BigCommerce, Shopify, and then there will be a world in the coming, year or less, hopefully, where you'll see 100 channels there, 100 integrations, because we want to unify the experience. So I will pause here for a second. And again, please scan that QR code and fill out that survey. It will be very valuable to us. It doesn't matter whether you're attending this as someone thinking about SureDone, you've been with SureDone before, you're an employee of SureDone, you're a customer, you're just bored and just came on this. It will be valuable to understand what you'd like to see next in an e-commerce platform. Because the biggest thing that, the headline today was you need to relaunch your business using artificial intelligence. And what we've been spending the last, me personally, the last several months on is really diving deep into AI and whether or not it makes sense for SureDone. So we're going to spend a minute talking about this. So when it comes to artificial intelligence, we don't see this as a buzzword, at least me, I'm a little bit technical and I think about things technically a lot of times. And I don't want to just put a label on there and give you some BS and say that, oh, we got AI. No, I'm not into bullshit. Excuse my language. So we want to consider real AI. So the categories that we've been looking at are these buckets. And this is where we really need your feedback on if this would be valuable to you. 1, listing AI. So what would happen if instead of you uploading something to SureDone and then got the feedback back, you had a system that would automatically correct these errors for you? Imagine if you just uploaded it, and because the one thing that we won't be able to solve anytime recently is being able to generate your catalog data for you, because that data is coming from somewhere, right? You're a brand or you're a seller. That data has to come from somewhere. We're not going to make data up. So once that data is there, it might be missing things. It might have incorrect things. It might not match the channels. How valuable would that be to you? And then furthermore, what if we said, hey, just upload it once and then SureDone will just take care of it for you. How valuable would that be to you? We know that there's not anyone else really working on this. It's a really hard problem to solve. But the question is, if that's something that came out and you didn't have to do that anymore, how valuable would that be to you? Another angle on this is optimization. So maybe you already have a good workflow and you're already listing stuff. But you want to increase your sales because you spend a lot of time just organizing the data, because that's a lot. As a product manager, you got to organize the data and make sure it's right and make sure that the text is correct. What if we just focused on making sure you sold more? Integrations. Well, maybe your product management side is kind of like humming along and you're doing your thing and you're growing at the rate you want to. But you know what? There's so many integrations out there that you could be able to supplement your business with. Maybe there's tools that do optimizations for you. What if we gave you a way to automate these integrations? Today, we're able to spin up an integration as fast as an hour, whether it's an FTP CSV or whether it's a basic API. But what if we had a system that could do this for you, using AI to automate all your e-commerce integrations? What would you do with that? Are there 100 different tools that you would integrate into your system now, but you just don't have the resources for? Let us know if that would be important to you. And then reporting. So this is one that we're probably going to do anyway. But all the data that you have as a SureDone customer, it's in the database. It's sitting there. It's sitting there for years. All your order data, all your product data, all those logs. We want to use AI to kind of collate that into many different reports that are available out there. And then finally, do you want to ask questions about your data? Do you want to ask it about your catalog, about your orders? Let us know. And then, at the bottom there, we have a link to our API GPT. It's a work in progress, so you can start to learn how to use the API just by asking questions. Again, please scan that QR code, and we look forward to your feedback, because we need you to help us inform. We can only take it so far by doing our homework and being up to date with the industry and pushing forward. But at the end of the day, you are what matters, and we appreciate your valuable feedback. Okay.
Awesome.
So that's the quick poll, and I guess because the poll was already there, I can move on to Q&A, right?
Absolutely.
10 minutes left.
So first question we have here is, when will the eBay automatic category start?
It's an automation is live now. So just go to the automation section in the interface, type in eBay in the search, and you'll see category import automation. So that's live.
Great.
That's
Awesome.
live now.
Can the eBay listing refresh only apply to listings which have not sold in the last 90 days? And we actually have another question similar, which is, so is it not based on sales, only a date that you choose?
So this version of it, let me go back to eBay. Okay. So the category import is live. There's a link to it there. So we'll send this out to everyone who attended this and plus, okay? The auto listings renew also have links to it. So I think currently there's a date range on there. I think it's like 90 days or something. If you want to update, the beautiful thing about Automation Engine is if you're saying, look, it would be awesome if I can actually filter it just to a search or filter it to, a certain time range. Just let us know. It literally is like one line for us to add to that to make it an option to say, give you 90 days, 120 days, and 30 days. Right now, I think it's fixed. But again, with your feedback and a simple support ticket, we can update that very quickly. Or if you want to basically so one thing with the SureDone search, everything in the system is powered by search. So let's just say that you're like, hey, you know what? I want it for anything only priced under $100. That's literally one thing for us to add as an option for you to supplement it. So just let us know. It's there for you, and a simple support ticket, we can get that prioritized and accelerated.
Great. Along with that, somebody was asking same question or similar question about that was, and please ask these questions in the Q&A because some people are asking them in chat too. Can you do this with more than one instance of eBay?
We have it right now. We've done this for a couple customers. So yes, the short answer is yes. Just send a support ticket. We will just clone it into your instance 2, instance 3, instance 4. It's literally, we've done this already for customers. This is the kind of thing that once we launch an app center, we'll be able to say, hey, do you want it for one instance and then launching multiple? That's one thing that we had an oversight is that we didn't think that people would want to use automations for multiple instances. But for you, requester, send us a ticket. We will get it live for you as a custom version, and you'll have it. We've done it before, and we'll do it again.
Great. Next question. BigCommerce custom description templates. Can we do those in bulk?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the thing about that that you need to know there is, just like your eBay templates, you basically create a template in SureDone, and you work with one of our partners, OC Designs, Fruition, or if you know how to modify those templates, just do that. And then you save the template, and you can save, let's say, like you have one for brand A and brand B, and then just like you do on eBay, you just assign it. You can either make a template that does different versions, and then enable it, and yes, and then it just relist in bulk, and it will send them all live. So yes, short answer, yes, you can do that.
Great. Will the Walmart integration be adding missing fields soon? Missing meaning they're in Walmart, but not available in SureDone, even in the category field section.
So that's the item spec 5.0, if that's what you're referring to, right? There's a lot of new fields that came out. I know that, like, if you're on the automotive category, like AIA code, like things that we do support, but there's a bunch of new ones. And we just had our call with our Walmart rep, I think in the last like 2 weeks. So item spec 5.0 is coming out. Again, just send us a feature request that you want the new fields, and we will prioritize it even faster if we can. I know it's slated for the summer that we're going to be having all the new fields come out through this item spec 5.0. But it would be helpful if you just told us what fields they were, because we want to make sure that it's in this. Maybe it's something that's outside of this. This happens a lot. Well, Walmart will put one thing somewhere, and then we think it's somewhere else. So just put that feature request in so we can know what field it is, and then confirm it, and then tell you exactly when it's coming live.
Awesome. Are you considering quick fitment data, adding in BigCommerce through AI in upcoming update? I can basically say, once again, from an AI perspective, fill out the poll that we have there, and there's a box at the end of the poll that says, is there anything else that you're looking for? And feel free to add that there. And also feel free, as Jason said, to go to our support site, go to our community forums, to the product or to the feature request section, and ask the question there. We don't currently have a quick fitment data planned, but it's a great idea and interesting. So please feel free to add that to the list. Next question: different pictures on different stores. Not sure if that relates to BigCommerce or Shopify, but go ahead, Jason.
So it's coming out for Shopify, and we didn't realize that we didn't even have this yet, but yes, it's coming out for Shopify, I think in the coming month or two. So you'll be able to map different images as well as videos. You'll be able to map. BigCommerce already supports this. I don't know if it's apparent in the mapping interface. So you could do this for BigCommerce. You can do this for Shopify. You can do this for Amazon. eBay is not live, but we haven't had a lot of feature requests for that. So again, your feature requests accelerate things. But that's not done yet. But pretty much every other channel does allow you to do mapping, and Shopify's is coming out.
Great. Do the new V3 APIs have any webhooks for orders so that we don't have to pull orders but have them pushed to an endpoint on our side? That's actually something that we've been talking about for quite some time, is the webhook side of things for both products and orders. And it's one of the questions on the prioritization list on the survey on the poll. So once again, make sure you click that off, and make sure you can also add some option in the box underneath the feature section saying this is really important to us and really interesting to us. I know, once again, we've had a lot of requests for it, and it's something I personally want added, especially with the advent of AI and business intelligence and other areas, not just for order fulfillment.
Yeah, and we know there's a third-party service that we can probably stand up relatively quickly. But again, your feature requests, you're raising your hand and just clicking that survey and telling us, we'll get our butts moving on it.
Great. Let's see. Is there an automated pricing update that's based on days and time? Once again, it's on the list of what features are important to you for us to add. We have scheduled promotions so that you can go in there and specify at this time of day from here to here. I want to be able to change it. It's not something that's currently scheduled on the roadmap, but we want to see if it's important to people. So
it wasn't repricing, right? Because repricing, we have several that we're connected with, and we're launching even more. I think we're launching like another 2 in the coming months. If it's
Yeah, this just
repriced.
says, it just says, is there an automated pricing update that's based on days and times? I took that as promotional stuff, but if it's different, as Jason said, we're adding repricers and things like that. Once again, feature requests, open the ticket, add it to the feature request board. There's a couple people who've asked questions about, have you considered integration with other platforms? We're constantly looking at these things. As Jason said, 75-80% of the features and functionality that we've launched have been based on customer requests. There's actually very few things we've launched that are just us assessing the market and saying, hey, this is something people could potentially use. So just add all of that stuff we're looking at on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
it's one of those things that the loudest customers are the ones that get the most attention, just because again, they're
Don't
giving us the feedback.
don't say that. Don't say that.
That's because it goes to Chris first, right?
Goes to my team first. They take a look at it and
Yeah.
and
But a big
see.
one though is the feedback on the AI. It's a gradually then suddenly concept where basically you're hearing about it, you're hearing about it, hearing about it, and then everyone's going to have it. So again, your direction, your feedback on which of these tools you'd like to see directly in SureDone. Well, of course, we'll connect to other systems using automation engine and everything else we can. But please give us that feedback.
Let's see. Can you please provide any option in SureDone to identify duplicate images in the same product if possible? Once again, feature request. Lots of
That's
great.
interesting. That's a
ahead.
great one. That's approach one. Now we actually do that for BigCommerce today. So if you actually have the same image, it compares it. Again, a feature request so that we pull that higher up in the chain would not be that heavy of a lift. But again, your feature, like we can't repeat enough. Feature request, feature request, feature request.
Yep. Each eBay category needs their own recommended item specifications. Is there a way SureDone can tell us exactly what item specifics are needed for that category when making a listing? That's in there today. Jason, go ahead.
Well, actually, it's in there manually. So in SureDone, when you pick a category, it gives you all the drop downs. I think they're trying to. So basically, we have an API already that does that powers our interface. So if you basically are asking for another layer that like category import and category specifics, we just need a little more detail on what you want, but it would be trivial for us to add another automation that basically says, hey, your category is 1, 2, 3. Here are all the necessary attributes. I just have a question on how you would actually leverage that, right? Because if it gives you 20 different fields, well, then what do you want to do with it?